I think we're going to just continue. I know we have a few people that are not back yet. Let me fix my name on here. And
it may take them a couple of minutes to re-register because you had to register again.
Registration, 2 seconds, but it made you register again. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know why. That's so strange. I'm gonna have to look at.
I didn't have to re-register. I just went back to where I was and then just got in. So maybe people think they had to re-register, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
All
happened
right,
to
well,
pop.
I'll see if I'm popping back in. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will share my screen and just continue where we left off. Again, apologies about that, everyone. I just don't know what that was about, and I don't have the mental capacity today to even figure it out. I'll figure it out tomorrow. But let's see, where were we? I think this is where we left off, right? So I was telling you all that 67% of that, over 80% of people with a smartphone using a map app at least once a month. And once a month sometimes doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but I want to put that into perspective. Once a month can mean that 1% of that 67% is using it every day, a different 1% every day for the next 30 or 31 days, depending on which month we're talking about, right? Like that adds up to a whole lot of people using a map app. In comparison to that 67%, only 45, not only, but 45% of people are using a weather app once a month. 21% of people are using a sports app once a month. And 15% of people are using a dating app once a month, which means the map apps are the top usage of apps on a smart device. So you want to make sure that you have everything right about your business and you are using it as a marketing tool for your business. And we'll talk about in just a second how you use it as a marketing tool. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So let's quickly talk about which platforms dominate the maps and navigation app space. I've been talking about Google all day, and it's for a reason. I'm not sure how clearly you can see this image. I'm not sure how clearly you can see that, but it lets you know immediately that Google is the number, like, look at this comparison. And number one is monthly unique users in millions. So this row here is monthly unique users in millions. Google is at 154 million. The next person closest to them is at 25 million, and that's Waze. Google is the number one map app choice. And that's why I keep stressing it to y'all. I keep stressing Google to y'all, and until that change, you know, and some people are using Apple Maps. There's still MapQuest out there. Apparently Google Earth, I still don't know what that is. And I didn't even know Yahoo had maps, okay? But as we're talking about map apps, I don't want you to ignore map apps, especially Google. And I would literally, like, I can't tell you what to do with your business, but I would tell you focus on Google first. I know there are other ones, but numbers don't lie. It's right there in front of us, okay? Google literally has 72% share of monthly visitors. Like when you look at this data, that's crazy. And again, you can see Waze is next because Waze is still good, but I want to make something very clear to you. Google owns Waze. Google owns Waze. So if you add that 25 million that Waze has, that's still owned by Google. Google is still king and queen in this game, okay? All right. I don't think I need to stress too much anymore, anything else on this slide. When you receive it, you can look at it deeper, but all the information is there. And this is just data from 2018, y'all. It's only higher. Between 2018 and 2020, it did not decrease. It has increased, okay? So how do you advertise on Google Maps? Again, when you receive this presentation, anytime you see something underlined like this on this particular presentation, it means it's linked to something that I think is important for you to do. This will link you to step-by-step on how to advertise on Google, because we don't have the time in a 1-hour presentation for me to walk you step by step on how to advertise on it, but it's simple enough. This will guide you through it. But in summary, the steps are, step number 1 that you'll see on there is update and verify your Google My Business. There it goes again. You're going to hear me say it over and over because Google My Business is key to all of this. So that's going to be your step 1, to verify and update your Google My Business. It's going to also tell you to, before you can run ads on Google Maps, it's going to say that you want to connect your Google. It's going to make you create a Google Ads account, and you're going to connect that to your Google My Business. So, and from there, it's just pretty much you're following the steps. So it's very simple. But if you have any issues with it, reach out to me, let me know, and I'm happy to help as much as I can. Again, I'm not an expert, but I will help as much as I can. Okay. And then what else you see on this screen here that I want to point out to you are, once you have all that set up, these are the ways that you can advertise on Google Maps. It's very similar to how you think about advertising on Facebook, how you think about advertising on regular Google. They have an option for promoted pins. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with Google Maps, but when you search something, whether on the Google Maps app or on Google in general on your computer or something like that, Google shows you these little, like you see this purple pin, it shows you a bunch of red pins for the locations to which you're searching for. So what Google has changed over the last, like I want to say maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, promoted pins are now purple. They're not red. And you see this example with the Walgreens. The promoted pins are now purple. They also allow you to have a logo. So if you have an ad, you'll stand out. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Google Maps, but typically when you search for something, because typically most people, I mean, unless you're searching for Walgreens specifically, like this example, if you're searching for, I don't know, what drugstore, like let's just say you're searching for drugstore near me, it's going to be way more arrows of things that are near you, and which you'll see, especially if it's a food item or skincare or clothes or something like that, or specific services, financial services, educational services, you'll see a whole bunch of red things, and you don't even know what Google is telling you. You have to click on them one by one to figure out. Logo, right? So that on the map to those. I'll tell you every time I see a purple pin.
Can everybody else hear Max?
Can you guys not hear me?
It froze for a while.
But I'm back. Am I back?
Yep, you are now.
Okay. What's the last thing y'all heard? I don't know, y'all. Technology hates me today. What's the last thing you all heard?
You were speaking about if you have an ad, it'll show up in a purple pen. That's the last thing I heard.
Yep. So the purple pins are the promoted pins. You stand out compared to all those red pins. I can tell you, I'm only one person, but I promise you, when I'm searching for something, especially if it's food, because I do a lot of search for food when I'm on Google Maps and I'm traveling or whatever, I always click the promoted purple pins first because it's just easier. I don't have time to sit and look at 100 red pins. This person thought their business was important enough to put an extra $2 into it to advertise. Let me click on it and see if it's worth me at least looking at it. That's my thought process. I don't know if everybody else think like that, but that's me, and I'm just one consumer. Okay, so, and again, the purple pin shows your logo.
Sorry, there's a question in the chat. RV said, is there a charge to advertise?
Yes, Marlene, there is a charge to advertise, and I'll get to that before the end. We have 10 minutes, and I'm gonna fly through this presentation in 10 minutes. The other way that you can promote on Google Maps is in-store promotions. Someone can be in or near a particular store. If you know you sell something that also is offered in that store or in your store itself, if it's a local store, it can show up on their maps when they're close enough to say, this place sells this particular product. Because remember, Google is also collecting the data that this mobile device, this person recently searched for XYZ product or XYZ service. So Google immediately lets them know when their maps, oh, remember that thing you were searching for? This place that's 2 feet away from you sells it or something like that, okay? And this all happens with promoted ads. The other thing is local inventory search. So people that tap on something on a search, Google's data says that a lot of those people hesitate to go to the actual location or to call the place or visit they might visit the website, but like they'll hesitate to actually take next steps actions because they're unsure if their product or if their product is in stock or if their service truly can be provided. Like if I'm searching for a nail salon, I'm very particular about my nails. I don't know if they do the type of nails that I want done versus just because I don't do extensions. And I was like, I don't want extensions and I don't want a regular manicure. So there's something very specific I get my nails done with. And sometimes sites don't say that, especially because it's so new. I hesitate on if I should even wait on this call for this long to answer. You can do local inventory search. And what that does is I can click on that ad literally and get detailed of what you have in stock if you have physical things, and if it's services, details to what your services are, okay? And again, that's only offered to when you do Google ads on the map. Google Map ads, I want to separate that from just Google ads. And then finally, how you can advertise on Google is to customizable business page on the Google Maps, customizable business pages. And this is an example. Many of you have seen this when you're looking at businesses, so this doesn't look foreign for you. But in Google Maps, typically if you click, it can take you to that person's business page within Google Maps. This is especially helpful for those people who are searching for things while they are navigating somewhere. I know I search for things a lot while I'm driving. So it's like, oh, okay, I can see the picture. I know that's the Walgreens that I'm supposed to be going to, or whatever the case may be. Okay, their number popped up while I'm driving. Let me just click this phone button and call them, and whatever the case may be. So that's kind of how these smart devices are thinking. All right, how brands advertise on maps and navigation apps. I just kind of wanted to quickly show you or list for you a few other things. Local search ads. These are just ads that appear on google.com and Google Map results when someone make a search. So if someone search restaurants nearby, that's all that local search ads are. So when you start to do some of this stuff and you see that option, that's all you're saying. You want to pop up in that type of search. Place page ads. Place page ads are ads that appear after a person has clicked on a specific location listing that appears on a local search on a google.com or Google Maps. Meaning, if I clicked on something very specific on Google, a place page ad for your business, even though I didn't click on your business or anything, but because I searched something very specific, your ad will pop up either on google.com or on Google Maps if it's a location base that I'm looking for, which 9 times out of 10, we're looking for somewhere. Promoted places. These are branded icons that appear on Google Maps. And that's specifically what I just kind of showed you in the previous screen, okay? And these are kind of the ways that we see brands are currently advertising on apps and other navigation apps. Waze, and I'm only mentioning Google and Waze because they were the top 2 on that graph. Waze do all of the above in their own way, but they also have something called takeovers and arrows. And takeovers are half screen ads that display when a car is not moving. So I don't know how many of you know what Waze is, but Waze it's literally a navigation app. So if you are, typically we're using a navigation app when we're driving or when we're about to start driving or go somewhere or whatever the case may be. These are ads that pop up on Waze. It's a half-page ad when you are not driving, when the person is not driving. So they could be parked, they could be on the brake, whatever the case may be. the ad will then pop up. And that's what the takeover is on Waze. And Waze also have arrows, and these are icons that point to a nearby business out of the scope of the current map. So let's just say Waze is taking me on a route up this street, but there is, a restaurant that's not directly in my route, but Google or Waze or whomever knows that I was looking for something or may be interested in this, it will point that out to me. It will give me an arrow to say that business is there, even though it's not directly on your route. So that kind of helps beyond your immediate navigation, okay? I don't think I need to go through this as deeply as I wanted to. I just wanted to stress the benefits of advertising on Google Maps. I mean, I think it goes without saying. I won't spend too much time on it. If you need to be convinced even more, schedule a meeting with me and I'll go deeper into this for you. But like all of these things are obvious benefits of advertising on Google Maps, okay? And all of this helps your SEO, okay? So someone asked, I think it was Marlene, someone asked about the cost. How much does navigation ads cost on Google? And this is directly from Google. I didn't summarize this. This is a copy and paste from Google. In 2021, the average Google AdWords cost per click is $1 to $2 on the Google Search Network. And the same thing applies to your navigations, because all of that is driven by the same search systems, i.e. Google. And again, I would keep stressing this. Next week, we are going deeper into words on Google. But if you are a more niche business or newer business, you might see the cost a little lower than this, or you might see yourself closer to the $1 range. And if you're a more established business, you'll see that you might be a little closer to the $2 range or higher, okay? So just kind of keep in mind that the average cost is somewhere between $1 or $2 per click, because that's how you get charged with Google. It's when people click. It's that when you see PPC, pay per click, that's what it stands for. PPC ads, pay per click ads. And we've talked about this a number of times in the past, okay? And then the other thing that I think it's important for us to note, for me to note before we get out of here, is maps aren't the only, they're extremely important, but they're not the only opportunity for delivering location-based ads, nor are they the only apps that people use to get location-based ads. So what do you mean by that, Magli? I mean, it's a map ad. It's a map app. It's a navigation app. What else are people using? People are using social media. People are using YouTube. Facebook in particular has it where they have maps built into Facebook, okay? People use that. So you still could make sure that you are benefiting it from there. But again, I'm going to stress to you, when you're talking about location-based SEO, Google is where you want to put your energy and your dollars into. If you had to pay for a location-based SEO, if you had to choose between social media SEO, social media location-based SEO versus Google, I'm going to tell you choose Google. Now, again, we've talked about advertising on social media in the past, and we've shared with you the various reasons and ways for you to advertise on social media. I don't think not once did we say location was one of those reasons. I'm not saying not to do it, but I'm just telling you Google is the leader in this area. So I just wanted to, again, point out there are so many other ways that you can do it, not just directly on the app. And I want to stress right before we hit 1:30, I want to stress, y'all, this is just the tip of the iceberg. In the very near future, like location-based ads and maps and everything on smartphones, even in our cars and all of that, we might get to a point, we might already be there. We might get to a point where you could be driving and your phone, your map app or your navigation app will say to you, you were searching for eggs at home, or you're running low on eggs at home and you're passing such and such grocery store. Are you sure you don't want to stop and pick it up? And it sounds outrageous. It might already be happening for all I know, but just know that location-based advertising and SEO and all of that, it's only getting better. It's only getting better. That's why that's why Amazon spends so much time on Alexa. That's why Siri is so big, because these things are going to start to tell you as you're doing this stuff, and it's gonna drive into your business marketing. Okay. So I don't want you to, and I'm sharing all of this because I don't want you to be behind the curve as a small business. I don't want it to get so monopolized. Like, you have an opportunity to completely take over. So here's the thing. I put the now and the later on here about hyper local marketing, because big companies, big corporations, they already know the value of hyper local marketing, and they have the big dollars to do it. I'll encourage you as a small business to take advantage of this before the prices of these things skyrocket. Because a lot of these companies like Google and Waze and Amazon and YouTube and Facebook, we are, as a small business folks, we're kind of their testing market to see what are people willing to do. And we get the benefit of doing it at extremely lower costs. So make sure you take advantage of that, because geofencing is big. And geofencing is literally that. When we always search something and then realize it's popping up on every other thing, that's all that is. Okay, so we know it's big. So make sure you take advantage of that. And I know I kind of sped through that because we just had all these technical issues, but hopefully you still found value in some of this as you think about location-based SEO. Next week, what we are focusing on again is keyword, copy, and searcher intent. And I'll provide you with a checklist for your SEO. And we'll close out this series with that. But I definitely wanted to make sure that I got this information to you and stress the importance of location-based SEO, because a lot of times we are not thinking about it. So I know we are right past our time, but does anyone have any questions for me about any of this information that we shared today? Specifically, are you all, I know it's a bit overwhelming, like I said last week, I know it's a bit overwhelming, but you can do it as a small business owner. You can. So any questions for me before we close out of here? And Dara, we're gonna have to talk later so I can remember where I know you from at Aon.
It's Aon. The last name used to be Desmond.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
But yeah,
that name
I'll send you an
definitely-
email so we can
Okay,
connect.
sounds good.
All righty. Very good
All right,
session. Thank you for the information.
No problem. I don't think I have any questions. Marlene, Isabella, Danner, Carolyn, Lorena, Tony. I haven't been checking. Jennifer, if you have any questions, let me know. I haven't been checking Facebook. So Facebook, I apologize in advance. If you were asking questions, we just did not get to it.
There was nobody
Thank you
on
so
Facebook that had any questions.
Okay. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and stop the live. And again, I want to send all my love and apologies to everyone for whatever our technical issues were today. So let me stop the live stream here.